Did they just recently move there?
They kind of. They've probably been there for like a couple of years, maybe at least a year, and then they just expanded though.
Okay. We are now live, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So, just forewarning. So yeah, I didn't know. Where was Woody Wicks before?
I'm not sure actually.
Okay. Oh, but if you can like pull this up to your,
sorry.
I don't know. It's got to be like a fist away, they
Like-
say. But you can
You
move it wherever you want. Yeah, just little fist. So you got to be extra close.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can move it however you want. But yeah, is Woody Wicks a big thing around here? I've only been in the area for about 2 years.
Yeah, I think so. They have like cute knickknacks and stuff, and actually one of the vendors that we have at the bakery, Donnelly Designs, they're there too. So it's really neat. It's like a collection of local people.
That's cool. The bakery, you're at Halfmoon Bakery, right?
Yeah, out
Cool.
in Jamesville.
Oh, Jamesville.
Yep.
Oh, so you have to drive even farther to get to Jamesville from Liverpool, right?
It's only about a 20-minute drive in the
Oh,
morning.
really?
All
Okay.
highway driving, so super simple. I used to work at the casino out in Verona, so that was like a 45-minute drive. So.
Okay. Which is the one out in Verona? Is that yellow?
Turning
That's not
Stone.
yellow. Oh, Turning Stone. Okay.
Yeah, they're
Duh.
all the same. Yellow Brick Road is the same company.
Yeah, and they've got one Point Place now in Bridgeport. I can't keep them all straight. I don't go to casinos, so I don't know.
Yeah, I used to go to like Lava and stuff before, but when I worked there, I don't know. I
Oh,
kind of
okay.
just went there for work and then went home.
Yeah. Lava's is that the restaurant in there?
Yeah, that's the nightclub.
Oh, nightclub.
They
Okay.
have phenomenal restaurants though, like Tavern. I really like their food, and they've got Pinot and the steakhouse and all that. So.
Oh, interesting. So Halfmoon Bakery and Bistro in Jamesville.
Yep.
And you're a cake artist there.
Yes, I'm the pastry chef.
Pastry
so
chef.
I've got my own little team that I work with. We have 2 bakers and an assistant decorator. So we're creating wedding cakes and different pastries for the front. And I think a lot of weddings are moving towards a dessert bar. So we've been doing a lot of small mini pastries and cupcakes.
Yeah, your Instagram profile is pretty delectable.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you oversee 3 other people.
Yeah.
All making pastry. Okay, interesting. I know nothing about this world. Nothing.
Well, then it'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Tell me about it. How did you get into it?
So I mean, as a kid, I always really liked to bake. That was
Okay.
always my thing, and I was originally going to go to school for pharmacy. And then December of my senior year, I was like, I don't know. I think I should be applying to culinary colleges. So I applied to a bunch of them, and I got into a couple, and I ended up going to Alfred State College.
Okay. Just
for
like
their
pharmacy just wasn't
yeah,
it.
I was just like, I'm not really great at math or science, so
And sugar's better for you than a lot of pharmaceutical drugs, so let's do that.
So I figured that, I don't know, I'm very passionate about baking and all of that, so I felt like it would be a more fulfilling career.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to school for that, and then I worked at a small Italian bakery in North Syracuse for my first job.
Which one was that?
Mario's.
Mario's, okay.
So he's the best. He's so knowledgeable, and he's been in the industry forever. And I still go back and like chat with him, and we're good friends.
Oh,
and,
yeah?
Yeah, so I worked there for like 2 years.
All right.
Learned a ton.
Cool. I feel like every area has a Mario's.
Oh,
Like I grew up in Binghamton. There's a Mario's there.
Oh, really?
There's a pizza shop, not
bakery.
pastry. Yeah, but I feel like everyone's got a Mario. I think it's funny. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. And then from there, I went to Turning Stone. And so at Turning Stone, I started off as like a baker.
Yeah.
And then they noticed that I was really good at cakes. So I ended up doing like the cakes for opals and different little things. And then I ended up on weddings. So I did weddings there for 5.5 years. And then after that, I ended up at Sugar and Company, which was downtown in Syracuse. If you're new to the area, I don't know if you were here when that was.
I don't. Oh, is it gone now?
Yeah, unfortunately. But it was a great little place.
Tear.
Dessert and wine. So I worked there. I helped them kind of get off the ground, develop their menu and stuff like
Cool.
that. And it was really interesting to see like marketing and kind of like growing a business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I ended up over at Halfmoon, and that's where I am now.
Okay. So Turning Stone's when you first got into cakes.
First got into wedding cakes. I
Okay.
was a cake decorator at Mario's, but they do like little birthday cakes and like
Oh.
there was another decorator, so she did most of the weddings.
Okay.
So I very little got to dabble in that.
Gotcha. So then how did it go from that to like Batman cakes?
Well, I'm a nerd, so I love all of that.
I love nerds.
I don't know if you've seen the 4-tier cake that I did recently, kind of in November. It was like Batman and Superman and
yes,
all of that.
I think I did.
Yep. So that was my husband's 30th birthday cake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're both big nerds, and we like anime and comics and just, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's cool to make cakes like that. Like, I can make really pretty things, and I can make really fun things.
Yeah.
So.
I've noticed. You've got a lot of different stuff on there.
Yeah.
I saw Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other, like, crazy things you've made?
Oh, God. I don't know. I mean, I've been working more towards, like, really detailed things. I went and took a class, and so now I'm doing, like, sugar flowers.
Okay.
Which are, like, really pretty, handmade, ornate flowers.
Are they the thinner looking ones
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot to plug this in. You can keep talking.
That's fine.
That's why I put this here. Last time I forgot to plug it in, and then I had to do the same thing. And I thought I would remember since I put it there, but I didn't. Anyway, we're working out the kinks.
Yeah, learning process, right?
Yes, exactly. So the flowers.
So the flowers, yeah. So I've always kind of done them, but I took a class with Ron Ben Israel a couple of years ago down in New York City. So that was
Is that a famous chef person
Oh,
that
yeah.
I should know?
In the cake world, yes.
Okay,
He's,
okay.
Like, amazing. Does these huge cakes, really ornate, a lot of fondant covered cakes. But he's well known for like his really neat, tight little flowers. Like everything's like perfect.
Okay.
And then I took a class with Maggie Austin this year, who's like a little more natural, flawed, like really, they have a lot of movement. So
Interesting.
different styles.
I had no. Maggie is another person. Like,
Yep.
So I didn't know that the cake thing was that big. Like, as somebody who has no exposure to it, to hear that there's like experts teaching classes and all that stuff, like, is it like something that people travel across the world for, or across the country? Like,
Yeah, definitely. Well, from all over the world. Like when I took Ron Ben Israel's classes, they had people from all over.
yeah, that doesn't sound like an American name either.
I'm not actually sure.
No, I'm just...
But the funny thing is, they both were dancers before they were sugar artists.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that was like their second career, but they loved that it was like another art, and they moved into that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think.
I'm sorry, can you pull this up just a little closer?
The classes are kind of like anything else, where it's like, if you're in an industry, there's always room to grow and progress and learn different ways to do things or different techniques.
That's so true. It's just crazy that it's that big.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It's just nuts. I never would have guessed. That's wild. That's wild. So you do a lot of different wedding cakes and pretty things, but what do you like doing more? The comic book characters and anime stuff, or?
I really like doing the weddings.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite thing.
Oh, really? Okay. I was expecting you to say the superheroes.
Well, the superheroes, that's fun in like a different sense. I feel like that's not my strong suit though. Like I feel like doing things out of fun, and I'm still learning, and I'm still like growing and kind of developing my skills. So that's more challenging to me. So I guess it's more stressful.
Like there's more detail?
Yeah, and it's with flowers, you can break a petal or something can be off place, but like with superhero stuff or like comic book stuff, it's like more, it is what it is.
Okay. Huh. So there's more margin for error with the weddings.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be more precise.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's crazy. I never would have guessed there was such a big thing. But so what do you do for like continuing education? Are you still going to more classes, or like is it basically just you're just kind of doing it and getting better that way?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that goes into like doing the job and learning from the job, because you're kind of always doing something different. You have customers who come in and they're like, oh, I want this, and I've never done that before, so I'll research a little on my own and figure out like what techniques to use. I did recently a little kind of like shaped dog cake. It was like a little...
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, with like the white fur on it. So I kind of had to look up like how to do the Rice Krispies to mold the dog, and then ganaching technique to kind of smooth it out and stuff like that.
Yeah, wow. Because that was looked like real life. It didn't really look like a cake, right? If I'm thinking of the right one?
Yeah.
Like
it was like a dog coming out of the cake, kind
of. Yeah. But the top of it, like, did not resemble a cake, really, or what you think of.
Yep.
That's cool. You're, like, remarkably fit for being with sugar all the time. Like, do you eat any of your own cakes?
I do, but I feel like sugar, to me, has kind of lost its desirability. I'm definitely more of like a French fry person. I like chips and pretzels and goldfish and that kind of thing. But I'm a runner, so me and my husband were both like long distance runners. I did my first ultra this year.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
that's intense.
And it was just a 50K, so that's like 30.
Just a 50K.
Well, like ultras can go up to like 100 plus miles, and I know like a couple of people who do them around here, and I don't know. So to me, that's like the baby version of an ultra.
Oh my gosh, that's still crazy though. It's called ultra for a reason. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. That's nuts. So you make cakes. Don't eat any of them because you're sick of cake at this point.
Well, like, I eat them. I have to like taste test and make sure everything tastes good and for the client and everything like that.
All right, that's fair.
But that's fair. About all I indulge.
That's funny because I worked at a Perry's ice cream shop when I was in high school, and I've never loved ice cream more like since working there. It's my favorite food group. I tell people. Like, like I'm the opposite. There were 50-something Perry's flavors, and I took to it.
And you're still not sick of it?
No. Oh my gosh, no. No, I eat pretty healthy, but if I'm gonna have something, if I'm gonna indulge, like no offense, I don't really eat a lot of cake, but I like ice cream.
I hear that more and more. More and more people are like, I'm not a cake person. And I'm like, okay.
Thanks. Yeah. It's just for looks then, or what? Come on.
It's just for the ceremony.
It is cool though. So how'd you get into running?
So I mean, I ran in high school. I tried a couple different sports. I was a swimmer for a while. I wasn't a huge fan of getting out of the pool and being cold, honestly. So
that's fair.
That wasn't really my thing. I tried doing dance, and I'm absolutely awful at dance. I skied in high school as well, but I don't know. I also don't like being cold, so I kind of fell into running.
You're just living in the wrong area then.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're
why
doing.
I'm in Syracuse. Family. I live here for family.
Fair.
But as far as running goes, I had a few friends who ran, and they're like, "Oh, come do cross country. It'll be fun." And I'm like, "Okay." So I actually started in track, and then I did cross country to stay in shape. But I fell in love with cross country because it's through the woods and a bunch of different terrain and all the elements. You're muddy and it's raining and I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. So I ended up running all through high school. I broke my leg senior year. Oh. Running down a hill.
Running down a hill?
Running down a hill at BBS High School.
Just like buckled or what?
My ankle like gave and the bone snapped.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like 100 meters from the finish.
Oh.
So that was cool.
Miserable.
There's tons of pictures of me crying and all this great stuff from it. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah. So
you'll have that for the rest of your life. It's an experience.
It definitely was. And I was like, I'm never running again. This is awful. And I went to do my tour for Alfred State, and there were signs all over their athletics building that were like, looking for cross-country runners. So I was like...
Suckered you in.
So I went and talked to the coach, and he's like, yeah, you'd be great. So I ended up running in college, and I loved it. And that's actually how I met my husband.
Okay.
So we both ran together in college, and we were like best friends in college, and then like kind of met up later down the road and ended up together.
That's cool.
So
that's cool. God, but to go from like casually running though to doing an ultra, I feel like there's a little bit of a jump there.
It wasn't just like, 3 miles. Okay, actually, let's do 30. It was like, so I ran mostly in high school. The highest I ever did was 3 miles.
Yeah.
I did steeplechase in college, which I'm still not sure why I did that, because that's like giant, the little barriers with the water pits and everything.
Oh.
So it's like almost like hurdling, but not because you're stepping on.
Was that like the birth of the obstacle courses? Is that where that stemmed
from?
Maybe
that was the inspiration where those races came from.
I've heard the term steeplechase, but is it like a barrier that's like this high off the ground? Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Never mind. That was okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I did that, and then let's see. I graduated college, and I ended up running a couple half marathons. And I really like, to this day, I think half marathons are probably my favorite distance.
Okay.
Just because they're long, but they're short enough to kind of like run well and like race it. Where I feel like the marathons and the ultras, you're like running it kind of to finish, but like to do well still, but it's...
You just want to cross the finish line without dying.
The pace is so much less intense. But I don't know, yeah. You're just basically trying to finish.
Yeah. That sounds crazy. Like I run 3 miles and I'm like, it's my legs can do it. It's more of like, can I deal with the monotony of running still?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I listen to music. A lot of runners don't.
Yeah.
A lot of runners that I run with don't. When we run with Syracuse Track Club and go to practices with them sometimes.
Syracuse Track Club?
Yeah, so they're like a recreational club just around Syracuse. A lot of different runners.
Not through the university, just okay.
Just there's a running group.
Okay.
And we do cross country with them.
Cool.
So there's a cross country series in the fall that like a bunch of groups from like Ithaca and Rochester and Buffalo, like we all get together and run at each other's different courses.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's kind of nice to have a team outside of school, because now I'm much older and
right.
can't run with the school.
Yeah.
And have people who are just as passionate.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. Am I right about the monotony of running though? Like, is that the hardest thing about running, or like, because I feel like once you, and I've never run more than 9 miles at a time, and that was one time, like never done it, and I was really frustrated. I just need to blow off some steam. I ran 9 miles, but I've never run more than that. I just feel so I have no experience, but I feel like if your legs are like, if you have the muscle and the stamina and like that kind of thing, like it's really just a mental challenge, right?
Yes, it definitely is. Yep. So it's just like keeping yourself going. Like for the ultra, I was just tired and it was raining and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to be done. Like I just want to be done. But then you kind of get to yourself where you're like, okay. So the way I handled that one was okay, 15 miles to the halfway point. So you run and run and run, and they get to 15 miles, and they're like, okay, only 15 miles left, and then you count down, and that kind of makes it a little easier. Or
okay.
Like listening to music, or some people listen to podcasts. I can't listen to podcasts while I run.
Yeah, I'd be mentally stimulated.
I just like drown them out and don't listen to them, because I'm like, oh, my legs hurt, or oh my gosh, I don't know.
So how long did it take you to do 50K?
I don't remember. I think it was like 5 hours and 25 minutes, maybe.
Okay, what's the like mile time on that? Do you know?
The average was like, oh god, I don't even remember, because I didn't do like super well, but I didn't do bad. I started out at like an 8:30 pace, which
you
was
finished, so I think
stupid.
that constitutes doing well.
But by the time I got to like the last 5 miles, I was like just dead. I crossed the finish line. I wasn't even breathing heavy. My legs were just shot, because I think like my legs just weren't ready yet.
Okay.
But I still did it. And I finished it, and it was a good challenge to overcome. And now I'm running another one in July.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
So how long ago was the other one?
October.
Okay. So that was pretty recent.
Yeah.
And then another one in July. Where's the one in July?
The one in July is the Finger Lakes 50s. So it's actually
Okay.
a trail ultra, which should be a little more interesting. My first one was a road ultra.
Okay.
And it was ridiculously hilly.
That sounds probably more boring.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta imagine running through the woods is way better.
Oh, so much better.
And the Finger Lakes is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably gonna be cool.
Yeah.
At least easier in that regard. Oh man. So just trying to think about running a 50K. I'm like sweating. And that's what, 33 miles?
I think it's like 31. It's like close to 32.
Okay. How do you even train for that? Are you like running marathons?
No. So you run.
I do marathons to train for my marathon.
Didn't get that close. Even when I ran my marathon, I only got to like 23 miles, I think, before.
Okay.
And I think for this one, I only got to like 26 miles before I ran it. Because you can always kind of make it to the last couple of miles.
Yeah, it's like adrenaline. I'll be fine.
I'd like to train to the point where I'm comfortably running them.
Yeah.
But that takes like years of building up, I feel
bet.
like. And
I bet.
being consistent. And during the wintertime, I have a really hard time, especially when it snows. But we got a treadmill this year.
Ah, nice.
Which is the worst thing in the world, because I hate being on the treadmill, but I'm training, so.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's, talk about monotony.
Yes,
like,
that is the definition of monotony.
Well, when I run a couple days a week now, but it's on a treadmill at a gym over here, and that's like the challenge for me. I tell myself, like, I just zone out at the wall. I try not to look at the time and just like
yep.
tell myself it's just gonna be over when it's over. Like, just keep going. It's
so much easier to run outside. We've had a mild winter, which is wonderful.
It was like 60 degrees this weekend.
It was beautiful.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Did you run?
Outside. A couple. Yeah.
Nice. How many miles do you put on a week?
It depends on what point in my training I'm at.
Yeah.
As I got closer to the ultra, should have been higher, but I was at like 40 miles a week.
Damn.
So.
That's like a huge time investment too.
It's
on top of like just being hard.
Yep.
Like, you got a budget for that.
You have to like also make sure you're like eating well and drinking water and all this stuff. So it's
not eating
a
cake.
Very conscious effort. You can eat cake. You can eat whatever you want.
I'm kidding. Do you follow any specific diet, like training for something like that?
No, I don't know. I eat pretty healthy.
Yeah.
It's like more like I hate eating breakfast because I wake up so early. So I'm just like, I don't want to eat breakfast. So I have to like make myself eat breakfast. And I try to carry like little like protein bars and stuff for during the day.
Okay.
If I need to eat before I run.
Yeah.
So.
Why don't you, if you don't want to eat breakfast, why don't you just not eat breakfast?
That's not good for you.
That's not true. You ever heard of intermittent fasting?
Yeah, but
Nah.
I don't know. When you're running that much, you need the calories.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
burn. So.
No, you definitely got to have the calories for exercise, but you could eat like bigger meals, or do you have a hard time eating? Like, because I know some people are like, oh, I have to force myself to eat. Like, I can't put on weight. Like, friends when I'd have friends in the gym. I worked at the gym at Oswego where I went to school.
Oh.
And there were some people that just like, I don't want to eat. I don't get it. So I'm one of the people who, if anything, I'll overeat. I don't undereat. Like,
I'm definitely, I love to eat, and I love food, and I love
yeah,
going out
especially
to
the industry you work in.
all of that. Oh yeah. And it's more like when I'm working, I don't make time to eat when I should. So I have to like sit down and be like, okay, I need to take 10 minutes to sit down and eat something, and because I'm constantly going.
Right.
But I don't know. And it's finding like foods, like I can eat yogurt in the morning, fine, and it's like quick, and I can just get out the door.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's probably more of a time thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, because running that many miles, you got to be eating a lot.
Yeah.
Because what do you burn? Isn't it like 100 calories for 10 minutes of running or something like that?
I think it...
Like general rule of thumb?
Yeah, it depends. I burn less calories, I feel like, because I'm smaller.
Okay.
Because my husband, like, we both have smartwatches, and he burns way more calories than I do.
Yeah.
So.
What kind of smartwatch?
Apple Watch.
Okay. Do you like it?
I love it, and it's like the only thing that fits me.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I love this one, and it's like water resistant and whatever. So when I run out in the rain, it's not a big deal.
That's cool. I've thought about getting something like that. I don't want to have an Apple Watch. Like, I don't want to have text messages and phone calls on me all the time.
You can turn that off.
But just, I don't know. Like, the technology in general. Like, I don't even want to be able to do it. Like, because it's tempting. Like, you can turn your text message alerts off on your phone too, but I don't know. No, I don't want it. I don't want it.
You don't want to be in constant contact with the world.
I want a heart rate monitor, and that's it. It can hook up to an app on my phone, and that'll be cool to give me all my data, but I can't do it. I work in digital marketing, and like if I'm on Facebook, chances are I'm working. Like, I don't use it a whole lot personally. I think it's too much. I think it's too addictive.
It definitely is. I feel like at one point I was like always on Instagram.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Building my followers, and like it's addicting.
It's
like,
a
you're
trap.
like, oh look, if I post this picture, and you see what people like, and then the more people you get and the interactions, and it just becomes this big investment of time.
Yeah.
When you could be doing other things. But I feel like it's also important because it's a wonderful marketing tool.
Oh yeah.
Like, I put my cakes out there and people can see what I do, and
exactly.
then they're like, oh well, I want to order from her, and so then it's a point of contact, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
connected
good.
with you on Instagram.
Yeah.
it's I'm glad what you said about it being a tool, because that's exactly what I say. Like, because it's easy to jump to an emotional conclusion about it's terrible because it's addicting all these kids and whatever, and people don't have real conversations, and
right.
But it enabled a real conversation.
Yeah.
Ironically, but people walking down the street don't look up from their phone, and they don't do anything else. They don't communicate. They sit at a restaurant. They just look at their phone. Yeah, it's a tool, and they're not using it properly. Like, but it still has a function. Like, it was built for communication, and it's very good at that. That doesn't mean it also can't be abused. And I think it's just, I don't need it attached to my wrist.
Yeah. I completely understand.
It's no, I can't do it, cause I just feel like it's distracting. I get so many emails and calls and stuff like as it is now that if I had the ability to like wake up and just have it there before I even like get out of bed, that's just not good. That would not be good for me. I'd drive myself nuts. I go nuts enough as it is with this stuff, the email. But yeah, it's definitely a great tool. You have a huge following on Instagram.
Yeah, and it's so funny.
How did that happen?
Everyone asks me that question.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, how did you do this? And it's like, it kind of just happened. So when me and my husband started dating, I would drive out to Buffalo every weekend.
Really?
Because he lived out there, I lived out here.
Oh, okay.
So like he would come out here Friday nights, we would go out to dinner, and then I would go into work Saturday. He would drive home, and I would then drive out to Buffalo so that we could spend time together.
Every week.
Every week. And
That's
I was
awesome.
working crazy hours because that's when I was back at Turning Stone. It was like 14-hour days.
Oh, that's
like,
even further away from Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I would drive past Syracuse on my way to Buffalo, be like, oh, hi, okay.
Yeah.
So I would go out there. He would work on Mondays, and I would stay out there, and I would just kind of like do emails, and I would edit my photos from the weddings that I had done the previous weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I would go on Instagram, and I would post my photos, and I would interact with people and answer questions. And the first year, I think I went, it took me 2 years to get to 1,000.
Okay.
And then that third year, I went from 1,000 to 10,000.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then the next year, I went from 10,000, then on to 30,000. And then I kind of just leveled off.
Huh.
So I'm at like 45 now, but it was like 47 a couple, like maybe last year.
Oh, really?
So it kind of just, I don't know, I haven't been posting, I haven't been active as much.
That'll do it.
But it's just one of those things where I was training for the Ultra, I was doing other things.
Yeah,
So
life gets in the way.
I was just like, maybe not paying attention to it as much. But I still try to interact with like the followers. Like if people have questions, like how do you do this? I'm very open and like, oh, I use this recipe or I try to do this. So,
Right. That's really cool though.
Yeah.
So it kind of just happened.
Yep.
And it fell off once you started posting regularly.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. The way those algorithms work and everything, it completely favors consistency.
Yep.
So, and engagement too, but it sounds like you still do that and engage with people.
I still try to like go through and interact.
Yeah.
But
It's huge though. I feel like Tasty blew that wide open.
oh yeah, definitely. I learned little videos and
Any barriers that were there, Tasty just blew the doors down.
Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah, those things get so many views on
They
like
do.
Facebook and stuff. I used to get them. I had to like would I unlike them or block them or something? I had to do away with it. It was too much.
Too distracting.
Yeah. I have an app on my computer, and it's I'm sorry, not an app. It's a Chrome extension for the Chrome browser, and it turns off your Facebook feed. So like I engage with people on like DMs and stuff on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I manage like social accounts and stuff, but my feed like I can't even see it unless I turn the extension off.
Right,
But
yeah.
it's easier not to do that. It's easier not to go down that rabbit hole a lot of times, because that's the trap. That's the feed. You start scrolling and then all of a sudden you're like, oh,
And then it's an hour.
15 minutes.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. Or an hour. It's nuts. It's like Netflix you didn't sign up for.
Yeah. Yep.
A show you're watching that you didn't mean to watch. Just an accident. And YouTube's even worse.
So bad. We watch YouTube. Like there's a YouTuber, Philip DeFranco.
I've heard that name, I think.
Does like news and politics and stuff. So
Okay,
we watch him
okay.
because that's interesting and it's kind of like our version of the news because I don't listen to much of the other news.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm the same way. It's nope.
So,
for the same reasons as the Facebook thing, honestly.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but
Oh, no.
DeFranco.
Yep. So we like him. He's
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
and he'll like share other interesting things that we end up off on those tangents. and
Yeah,
watching that.
yeah.
But and then I like Anna Akana, I think.
Anakana.
Yeah, she's like another girl. She does a bunch of different YouTube like videos. I don't know. They're just funny.
Like what?
I
think YouTubers and like the entire thing is
she
crazy.
focuses a lot on mental health.
Interesting.
And,
Okay.
like, different things and like how people interact and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to me and her version of things.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. I would check her out.
yeah.
Anakana. How do you spell that? Do you know?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
All
it
right.
up.
You'll have to let me know. Yeah, I follow a few people on YouTube, like a lot of entrepreneurial type people. No, I shouldn't say a lot. A couple entrepreneurial type people, and some people that are just like video creators, just more creative side of things, like trying to tell a story. Cause I make some videos myself for like clients I work with in the digital media space, and I can appreciate good, like video editing and stuff like that. Cause I'm not the best at it, so I think it's cool to see some of that kind of stuff. But yeah, you watch one video and then it's easy to just get to the next and the next. And so
Yep, it is.
Yeah, but
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, seriously. Do you follow any like cake artist type people online or?
No, I mean on Instagram, not on YouTube really.
Do you learn anything that way or?
Yeah, especially with Maggie Austin. Mm-hmm. That's actually how I had found her, and then I got her cookbook, and then I wanted to take her classes. But she'll share different like cakes and different flours and stuff, and if people ask questions, she'll then like share the answers to the questions.
Okay.
Or if you like message her and ask her a question, she's pretty good about answering back. So
that's cool.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, another one I noticed on Instagram, like a small niche of like people that I wouldn't have guessed, like cake artists. And don't mean to offend. It's just like, whoa, had no clue. Internet's crazy. Woodworkers, like making like cutting boards and like just different little things. Like I saw a few Instagram pages that were huge, like hundreds of thousands of followers on them, that were just like woodworking stuff. I was like, that's pretty wild. I even saw, I think I got retargeted for an ad on my Instagram feed, excuse me, for a course for woodpreneurs.
What?
Like
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like start your own wood making course, like that kind of thing. And I mean, being in the digital marketing space, there's a lot of courses out there, and some of them are good, some of them aren't, but I don't need to say anything more about that. It's just funny that, out of everything comes a course. Like, is there any kind of like cake artistry course online?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's definitely, I think they're like master classes, or on Craftsy, they have all of that. Like fondant courses, like how to cover cakes in fondant and how to do all of that. There's tons of different stuff that you can buy. And
okay. Is fondant like, I'm thinking fondue, fondant.
Fondant is that
word association.
That, like, when you see a cake and it's like smooth and has like this kind of rounded corners.
Okay.
It's like the covering that goes over the buttercream.
Oh, interesting.
It's what you do a lot of like your detail work with, and any like little swags or anything that looks kind of like almost like fabric or like a clay kind of thing.
Okay. Is it edible?
It's edible.
Okay.
It doesn't taste very good.
No.
But
it
helps achieve looks that otherwise wouldn't be possible.
That's fair. And the real good stuff's on the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Interesting. Have you ever thought about like teaching any of the stuff you do?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I feel like I'd like to learn a little bit more before I move into that phase of things.
Yeah.
I definitely think down the road I'd like to do that. Like, I'd like to teach like classes for people who are a little more advanced, because I feel like I wouldn't do well with like children classes.
Okay, yeah.
Or like, I could do beginners classes too, but it'd be more fun and fulfilling to kind of like do the sugar flours for people who kind of already know what they're doing, or like the more advanced stuff. So.
Okay, that's cool. Do you think that like, how long have you been doing cakes?
10 years.
10 years. And that's not enough? You need more?
Yeah.
Before you start?
I still think I need
more. Because, I mean, out of all the people that follow you on Instagram, like, you probably have a lot of cake artists that are looking at your stuff.
Yeah.
So you could definitely teach that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you got it.
Stacy, who owns Cake Shop CNY, she's out in Skinny Atlas. She teaches classes and stuff, and her work is like flawless.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's beautiful. We have like a little bakery coffee hour where we invite different bakers and stuff like that, and kind of like network.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I actually started it.
Nice.
Yeah, me and my friend Liv, who she owns Blueberries and Lace, which is a food truck.
Okay.
So it's like a dessert food truck. We had gotten coffee kind of like around when we were just starting to be friends. And I was like, oh, it'd be really cool. Like, I've always wanted to start, like, this little coffee hour where we could just invite people who bake around here and, like, who own bakeries and stuff like that. And she's like, you should do it. And I was like, okay. And, like, she's like, no, like, you should do it. So we invited people, and people came, and it's been great.
That's awesome. How many people go?
It ranges. Sometimes we just have, like, 6 of us. Sometimes we have, like, between 15 and 20. I feel like we had one really big one. We all met at Dominic's, and that one was massive. There was so many people. We had, like, my assistant, she has been at all of them, because when we were at Sugar and Company, we hosted the first one.
Okay.
And then we've had, like, Debbie from Halfmoon. Before I was there, she came to one of them.
Okay. She's the owner?
Yeah, she's the owner. Yaman from Stoop Bake Shop, when they were around, he came. Yeah. He's, like, crazy, like, bread baker and French pastry. But we've had, like, a bunch of different people, and it's been really nice to kind of, like, network and, like, talk about different things that work for everyone. And what, you know.
That's wild. You just started, what, on, like, a meetup.com or on Facebook or
just
what?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Using the tool properly.
Yeah.
There you go. Example A. That's cool, though. The Stoops now, it's something else now, right?
Yeah, it was Scratch Bake Shop.
Yes.
Or Scratch Bake House or something, and then now I'm not sure.
Is it not anymore?
I think the building's sold. I'm not positive.
Okay.
But I had seen something on their social media that they were moving to a different location.
Scratch Bakehouse?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Eric, the guy who owns Scratch Bakehouse. Is he the owner of Scratch Bakehouse? I thought so. He's actually going to be on.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Do you know him?
I have met him. He was, like, at one of the Farm to Fork events that I've done and stuff like that. So, and I had seen him when I was in the bakery and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. Small world in
Syracuse. Syracuse is very small.
Well, I grew up in Vestal, Binghamton area.
Okay, yeah.
Went to school in Oswego, and now I live in Syracuse. This is the biggest area I've lived in. Like, it's still pretty small, though. It's crazy. Did you grow up around here?
Yep, I went to CNS High School.
Okay.
So, and then now we live in Liverpool.
Gotcha. Liverpool's a nice area.
Yeah, I love it there. It's like around everything, but it's not too busy, so it's kind of nice.
There's a Limp Lizard over there, which is cool.
Yes, there is.
I like that place.
They have a Bull and Bear Roadhouse too, which is so good.
Bull and Bear Roadhouse. I've heard of that.
Well, they have one in Fayetteville. They have one in East Syracuse.
Okay. It's just local chain?
Yeah.
All right. Huh. Interesting. And then you went to Alfred.
Yep.
And that's Albany area, right?
South of Rochester. Yeah, opposite direction.
Not quite. Yeah, shows how much I know.
It's like really in the middle of nowhere, though. It's like a town with one street and 2 schools on either side of it, and that's about it.
Is there an Alfred and Alfred State?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe
so
this.
Alfred U is like the artsy school, and Alfred State was like the tech school.
Okay.
So.
Are they both in the same area?
Oh yeah, we could literally walk onto their.
So campus. The other one's not in Albany area.
No.
I'm still super wrong. Okay,
yep.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, you learned a lot of what you know at school.
I learned a lot of what I know in the industry, I think.
Okay.
They taught us the basics at school, definitely. But I feel like there's so much more that you learn on the job, like how quickly you have to move and like how to multitask and, you know, when to make the decorations that go on the cake and how long to let them dry and different stuff like that. Yeah, they give you the basics in school. I went for an associate's, and we did it was basically set up like a bakery. So we had like a station that did breads, and we had a station that did like fine dining desserts, and then we had one that did like case desserts for sale to the public, and then they had another section that did like the desserts for the cafeteria. I talked with my hands.
You're fine.
I've hit the microphone.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And so it basically they tried to give us like a real world experience and what it would be like, but it's just ever so slightly different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
The training isn't the best training's on the job. Yep. For sure. So what was your degree in?
Baking, production, and management.
Wow, I never would have guessed that was a degree.
Yep.
That's crazy. Well, I went to school for business, very plain Jane. And even that like wasn't very specific, but that sounds way more useful, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't mean to shit on all of business schools, but like, it's because credits and debits accounting, like it's a good skill to have, but it's not as like nitty gritty and like specific as like that, or going to a trade school to be a plumber, or like
Right.
very high level.
I think a trade is different because you're learning skills you're literally going to use on the job. And we took some normal classes that were like, we had like management, and we had serve safe or like sanitation.
Oh, okay.
Which was probably the most terrifying thing because it taught us all about like the different bacterias in food, and I'm like, oh god, I never want to eat at a restaurant again. But so like, you know, we had like food costing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which was interesting, but I definitely like the lab portion of everything a lot better.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's nice that you got like a little of both, though.
Yeah.
I mean, with my degree, it was mostly all high level stuff. Like there was no. I mean, I went to school to be an accountant, and I didn't continue down that path, but I didn't learn anything about managing, like being an accountant and like running a business and managing clients. Like it was all you know, problems like
like potential problems,
yeah,
but like actual things.
Yeah, none of the, I don't want to say intangibles, I don't think that's the right way to put it, like all of the actual solving the problem, but nothing else about the job. Like I don't know, some people, I know people, there's a career coach in Syracuse who I also found on Instagram, that he posted something on Instagram yesterday, like, at your job, did you ever need to like know this, some history fact or something, and like, but you have to take these prerequisite classes to like do the thing, and it seems kind of silly, and I don't know, I'd rather like have something hands-on than history lessons. Yeah, I did not like that part about school.
No, it's just that stuff never really captivated me. I have to like be doing something and learning that way. I learn a lot more hands-on. Like, it's weird, I'm not really great at math, but I understand like food math. So like,
oh, okay, like conversions.
Stuff, yeah, like conversions, I can do that all day. And like different things, like when there's like different food math that you can do, like if you bake something and you're gonna lose this percentage of it and you end up with this, and then you're trimming off this much, and I understand things that I can like kind of like look at and be like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah,
it's like practical. That's
a great skill to have, though, because I'm sure you noticed that translating into your life in other areas too, as far as like bills, like management of finances and that kind of thing.
Yep.
I bet like it's a useful skill to have.
It definitely is.
Keeping your brain sharp. That's cool, though. So you're thinking about teaching classes, eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Do you have like a timetable?
No.
When you want to start?
I don't know. I guess I have to see like where, like how things pan out and where we are a couple of years down the road.
Yeah.
So.
Still in Syracuse, you think?
Definitely still in Syracuse.
Definitely still in Syracuse.
Yep.
Still being cold all the time.
Yeah, still being cold all the time.
Not all the time, just like 5 months out of the year. 5 months of winter, 5 months of summer, and then a little bit of spring and fall in between. That's about it.
But the summers are so nice.
I know, they are nice. They're beautiful. I love the summers here. It's nice and moderate.
Yeah.
I went down to Alabama in March. My grandparents were right on the beach in Alabama, like on the border of Florida and Alabama, just on the Alabama side, on the beach, in the Gulf. And I have asthma, and the humidity from the ocean while we were there for 7 days was killing me. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah. It's not too great for running either.
No, it's not. We actually did our honeymoon down in Florida, which it was in June, and it was atrocious. It was so humid, and it was just gross and hot, and I was like, nope.
No.
Never.
As soon as you step outside,
this
you get a
isn't too
shower.
bad, I guess.
Yeah. I'd rather be further west where it's not as humid, I think. I think it's not as humid. I don't really know. I've never been there. From what I hear. It's the word on the street. So thinking about teaching classes, though, would you only do in-person classes? Like, would you do anything online?
No. I've tried to do YouTube and.
Oh, really?
So my brother, he does all like the YouTube and
all the
gamer
YouTubes
stuff. Yes, all of that stuff.
interwebs cameras
He's
and
like
stuff.
on TikTok and whatever, and it makes me feel old. He's 10 years younger than me. He just turned 21, so I'm like,
Okay.
he's a little more hip.
Okay.
We will. But he, way back when I first started, he was like, let's do YouTube. And I'm like, awful. I'm like so awkward. And I just like, I freeze up. I like know what I'm going to say and then I like can't speak or function. So yeah, I think that's out of the question.
You could do it. You should get yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
You're out of your comfort zone right now a little bit, right?
I am. When you ask me, I'm like, do I? I don't know.
You've never met me. Like, it's kind of weird, right? Like, and on that note, I appreciate you coming and sticking your neck out. Like, I promise you I'm not that weird. But
No, you're not. Now that I met you, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I know. But, getting yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, good things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. Nobody wants to be on camera. Everyone is their own worst critic. Like, can't listen to their own voice, can't look at their own photo.
Yes, I'm sure that
crazy.
As soon as I listen to this, I'm going to cringe the entire time because I'm like, why? And it's funny, the picture thing is totally like, I hate my photo being taken.
Oh, yeah?
I was at the dentist this morning and I was like talking to her because I was like, I'm going to do a photo shoot today. So we do photo shoots like with different vendors and stuff.
Okay.
And today I did one with She Rents Vintage and Paper Crane Calligraphy, and there's a couple other vendors.
Interesting.
So, and today it was at Dino.
Okay.
So I basically made a cake and some cupcakes, brought it down, and they style it and they shoot it, and then we get the photos. But when I was telling my dentist, she's like, "Oh, so do they give you like pictures of you, like you holding the cakes and stuff?" And I was like, "Oh no, I leave the cake and I walk away."
I hide my face.
Yeah.
I bring a hood.
And even at work, my assistant will like take pictures and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Make sure it's my hands."
Not me, just my hands.
I don't know. It's just a thing.
No, it's so universal though. People hate it. It's crazy. Because like I do videos for some people I work with and nobody wants to be on camera. Nobody. And it's funny, like I'm not good at twisting people's arms. So sometimes it's funny, like I'm not going to convince them, you know what I mean? Like you got to want to do it, but I don't know, it's just funny. Everyone hates it. Something about...
At least it's not just me.
No, oh my God, no. You are in the majority easily. And then there's other people that just like give me the cameras. Like,
yep.
They're all over Instagram too. They're funny.
Yeah.
They're funny. It's funny. My grandma loves having her picture taken. It's hilarious. We bust her a lot about her not being in photos and stuff. Very funny, but. It seems like you haven't needed it. Everyone just likes your cakes.
Yep. Which is nice. My cakes can speak for themselves. That's fine.
True. That's when you know it's real. When you actually have the results. Results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
That's cool though. So, do you don't picture doing anything online? But I bet. Do you know how much your following is like in Syracuse?
It's the majority is in Syracuse.
Oh, really?
I actually get the analytics from Instagram.
Yeah.
And almost all of it is from Syracuse, and then some of it is like in Lagos, which I'm not sure entirely where that is. I looked at it at one point, but geography is not my thing.
Yeah, no, me neither. You're good at other things. Don't worry.
And then there's one other place, and then it's New York City. So it's like pretty close there. My demographics is like women between the age of like 18 and 35, I think.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like 85% of my followers are women, and then like 15% are men. So it's interesting.
That's wild. See, I would have guessed that it was mostly people who are like just cake fanatics.
Yeah.
Like in no particular region at all.
Well, I feel like I've made a lot of connections here.
Yeah.
Like I try to follow small businesses here.
Okay.
And, like I don't know, I'm big for buying local and going out to local restaurants and
100%.
all of that stuff. I think it's important. And so I follow a lot of them, and I feel like they followed me back. And then I was also featured on Upstate Women's Magazine.
Okay, yeah.
And I was on the cover for that back when I first was at Sugar.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I was on Syracuse.com and on the news. So I think that kind of
I did see that one.
helped.
Yeah.
So
That was in 2017. I saw that,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
in the magazines, that's a pretty big magazine, isn't it? I see it all over, like Freedom of Espresso and on the tables in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Upstate Women is around anymore. Syracuse Women's is.
Oh, that's
so
what
there's
I'm thinking
two
of. That's what I'm
different
thinking of.
ones, and they're both like the free magazines at the grocery stores and
Okay.
stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've just made a lot of connections, and it's mostly people in Syracuse. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, it surprises me too, but
Yeah.
it's a good thing. 'Cause
Well, because Syracuse is what, like the greater areas, like 500,000 people?
is it really?
I think so.
Oh,
Or
wow.
450 maybe. I want to. Is the city like 150?
I have no idea.
I want to say the city is like 150, and everywhere from like Jamesville to Beeville to Camillus to like Onondaga Hill is like 500, but I could be wrong.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's bigger than Binghamton and Oswego, though. I can tell you that.
Oswego is colder than here. They
Oh.
get way more snow.
Oswego, you know, it's, I would never want to live there. It was a cool little college town, but the wind there is miserable. Like with the lake, miserable. Like that's, I can deal with cold.
Mm-hmm.
Wind is just like another thing. No, thank you. No, thank you. I will never live there again.
It makes it that much worse.
Yeah, seriously. Although Rochester gets it pretty bad, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how bad though.
I feel like they get a couple like really bad dumpings of snow every year.
Yeah, and Buffalo.
Yeah,
I feel like they get hit worse.
definitely. Well, 'cause they have Lake Erie right there too.
Yep.
I have cousins in Buffalo.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, in Orchard Park. It's.
It sounds familiar. But
I think
can't
it's
place
south of Buffalo.
it. Okay.
Where was your boyfriend?
Like in Buffalo.
Okay.
In, like, I don't remember what it was called. It was like the very like hipster part of Buffalo. It was
Oh,
really-
really?
Yeah, it was really cute. I loved it. I loved
Super
where he
hipster.
lived. It was really nice. They had like awesome little coffee shops and like little restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's
it was
cool. It is all about local. I do like that.
I don't know. I feel like it's very big around here now. I
Yeah.
think it's important because it's the local community and
Yeah.
the people who live here. So
Yeah, it's huge. I'm on the board of directors for a nonprofit called Believe in Syracuse.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're we're regrouping right now, but yeah, it's cool just to support the area. Like they do a lot of different stuff from like feminine hygiene drives and book drives and like a lot of highlighting of local businesses and stuff like that. It's a cool organization. But yeah, I think it's important to support local. We go to me and my girlfriend go to the regional market every Saturday
Aw.
and get like all of our groceries there. Basically, we go to Wegmans for some things because you
Right,
can't get
right.
everything there, but we try our best. Like there's a fish guy there, so I always refer to my guys. I got a fish guy, I got a veggies guy, I got a mushrooms guy, I got a meat guy. No, it's just cool. It's
Yep.
cool.
I wish I didn't work Saturdays because I feel like I would utilize that more. But I always work when they're open.
It's so nice. I think they do Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, but Saturday's the biggest day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like on Thursday or Sunday. It might be pretty bare. It might not be worth your time. I don't know. But no, it's a cool place. It's nice to have to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny as things have gotten more connected and like globalized with the internet and everything. Like we've also seen the rubber band effect with people wanting to support local and that entire thing. It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
But I mean, with the social media, you have another way to market and to kind of put yourself out there,
Yeah.
which is really good other than like paper printed stuff and like stuff online. But
Yeah, it's huge. How many people do you get from your Instagram profiles that like want business?
it depends. A lot of people, I try really hard to get everyone to email.
Okay.
That way, like, things get so lost in the shuffle on
Yeah,
Instagram. I'm like,
I bet.
hey, can you send me an email? Because I'll open your message and then I'll be in the middle of decorating a cake or in the middle of running and then I'll forget about it. So I'm always
Mhm.
like, hey, email, please. But I've gotten a lot of inquiries lately, especially for different cakes. And everyone's, like, ordering way in advance because I do tend to book out.
Yeah.
And so I've had stuff for March and June and all, like, it's craziness. And we've been booking weddings, which we typically book out because we only take a couple
Okay.
on like a certain day because we have to deliver and make sure that each one gets its dedicated time.
Okay.
But I think I get a lot of orders from Instagram or a lot of inquiries like, oh, can you make this? And then I'll be like, yes. Or they see different things and they're like, well, can you make it this way?
Interesting. So, yeah, I bet, especially if there's a lot of people from Syracuse, you must get a good amount of inquiries on there. You know, you're looking at your messages while you're running and while you're making cakes, though.
I do.
Maybe you should take off that Apple Watch. Look at the messages when you have time, Kaleigh.
I don't know. It's just like that nagging thing where I'm like, ooh.
I know. Those notifications are a killer. No, I'm just busting you. But that's really cool. So you only do a couple weddings a year?
No, a couple weddings like a weekend.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa. You got to tell me what goes into this.
To like 2 to 3 a day on the weekends. Like, so on a given Saturday, like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Depending on where they are. If they're all relatively close, I can take 3. And if they're all small, but it really depends on the size of the wedding and location.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. And how much time goes into prepping a cake like that?
It depends. An average wedding cake, it probably has 5 or more hours between the baking and the filling and the making, the decoration and frosting and decorating.
Wow.
So.
And is that for one person or is that?
From like the cake itself. So yeah.
But is there more than one person working on the cake within that 5 hours though?
So like my baking team will work to bake the cake. And then my assistant will typically fill the cakes and then I frost and finish and decorate.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I deliver depending on like I'll normally take one delivery, especially if they're stacked. So if it's like 3 or more tiers, I'll normally go and stack it on site. So that's like another reason we have to kind of limit what we take because if we have huge, really intricate weddings and they both have to be stacked, I can't be in 2 places at once.
Right. Interesting. That's wild. Huh. And then what about, is that like average for a cake you make, like 5 hours?
Yeah, probably. For a wedding cake.
Okay.
For like a normal cake, it wouldn't be.
Not as long?
No.
Okay.
It's not anywhere near as long.
Well, some of the, I don't know, even just watching some of the videos of you like put on the little detail is like, wow, like that must take a little while.
Like the piping? Piping's very...
Maybe, I don't know my terminology.
Like,
I'm sorry.
When it comes to piping, I'm actually pretty fast at scroll, especially. So like that really pretty like line design.
Yes, scroll. Yeah. I recognize that from a caption you wrote, I believe.
That I can do in my sleep.
Okay.
That's one thing that I'm very good at and very proud of.
Nice.
So, I don't know. It's just one of those things that you just kind of start and then you fill in where it fits and you just kind of let the lines go how they want to. So.
Wow. Have you ever had any cakes that like didn't turn out so hot?
Oh yeah, but you can always like scrape them down and refrost or fix them. And I always say that like with cake decorating, a lot of it is like knowing how to fix problems or like hide imperfections because a lot of times like you're gonna have something that's not completely smooth or like a line when you're piping something, you'll get in a little air bubble and it'll kind of like pop and like mess up the piping.
Yeah.
So you have to like.
So you're not perfect.
Definitely not perfect. No way. So we try.
Yeah.
But there's always something, and there are those cakes where you finish it and you're like, yes, and then you hit it with your spatula, or when you put it in a box, you take out one of the flowers. It happens, but you just fix it, and
oh man, have there been any like really stressful moments you've had, like?
Yeah.
Where you've had to get something delivered or like just been under the gun?
A lot of times, like, I feel like constantly on the weekends, we're always on a time crunch.
Yeah.
And like no matter how much you set yourself up, someone comes in to place a really detailed order or like the fondant decides it doesn't want to work that day. So you put it on, it's ripping off or something, fondant. Or you get an air bubble. So I feel like there's always something that you have to like adapt to. And that's just part of the job.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. Problems are going to arise in all areas of life, including cakes. Right?
But we plan for it as much as we can, and most of the time things go smoothly, and we don't have, like, any crazy issues.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, everything you have on Instagram looks so beautiful. It's cool. But, yeah, I imagine that things go wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's only so much you can control, right?
Only so much. And Our summers are not as humid as other places, but they can be humid, especially when you have a cake in the cooler. Any colored piping will bleed, and that'll be a disaster.
Oh.
Different things like, so if there's a lot of condensation, you're trying to adhere like different fondant pieces or put certain things on, they'll slide down the cake.
Yeah.
So there's obstacles.
Sounds like it. Things can go wrong. That's for sure. And you also make pastry chef, right? So a lot of different, pastries too,
Pastries.
right?
Yeah.
So I know a lot of things I see are those little cookie sandwich things.
Oh, yeah, the macaroons.
Macaroons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got to tell you something. I had an argument with my girlfriend one day because we were talking about macaroons, and she was talking about the coconut ones, and I was talking about those ones.
So it's like macaron.
Why are they the same?
It's not the same.
Oh.
But everyone says it macaroon, even though it's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there's one O, right?
Yes. Yep.
So it's macarons or macarons or?
Macarons.
Macarons?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
But we just call them macaroons because we're wrong.
Well, I did too, and I was nicely reminded of it one day. It was funny. Why would they do that? Why would they be named the same thing? That seems silly.
I don't know.
You should rename them. And start calling them something else. Start a movement.
I have to figure out a good name for them.
Fix the whole thing. You call them Kaleys.
Okay.
They're called Kaleys.
They're Kaleys.
There you go. Everyone will love it. You'll be world famous. People will write history books about you, like 100 years from now, when the cookie industry shifted and
I don't know.
macaroons and Kaleys were
my legacy.
Well, I mean, you can build on it, but it's something foundational to go off of, right?
True.
Yeah, I think that's silly, but anyway. Those cookies are everywhere. Are they good?
I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably one of the few things that I actually eat.
Okay.
As far as like baked goods go.
Oh, that's when you know.
Yeah.
That's when you know.
It's funny because my favorite macaroons that I've ever had are from Ligustas, and it's in New Paltz. It's like a vegan bakery.
Okay.
And which macaroons by nature should not be vegan because they're egg white based.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
how they make them, I don't know, but they are the best thing I have ever had.
There's a bunch of flax eggs in there.
Something they've got it down. They're so good. But I think I started making them back when I was at the casino.
Yeah.
And then we did them at Sugar, and we do them at Halfmoon. But they're definitely something that like you have to have the technique down, and you kind of have to know like what the batter is supposed to look like as you're mixing it, because you can mess them up. It's quite easy for it to be a disaster. Yeah.
More disastrous than cakes?
I mean, they just turn out like flat, or they like crack. There's like a lot of different things that can go wrong with them.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I see those all over the place, I feel like.
Yeah,
they're very...
They've taken over the pastry scene right now. So
it's the top pastry?
I think it has been for the last couple of years. I keep thinking it's going to go away.
What's going to take its place?
I don't know.
You need a Baby Yoda to come in and just sweep everyone.
So cute.
Just sweep everyone away. Everyone forgets about regular Yoda because we have Baby Yoda now. No one needs the macarons. Macarons.
Crave Dessert Studio. They did a Yoda cookie for Valentine's Day.
Oh, really?
It's like Yoda 1. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute. So I like the Baby Yoda craze. I'd be fine with that.
Can you make a Baby Yoda cake?
I probably could. Might be a little bit of a headache.
You might get that request.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
There's been quite a few memes and all the things.
Memes?
Memes, like
no, like
for Baby Yoda, not for cakes.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. I thought you meant you're doing memes on cakes. I was like, that'd be cool.
No. I don't think we have.
No?
No. Nope.
It's a matter of time. Let's be real.
Yeah.
This is the age of the internet.
It is.
It's a matter of time before you have a meme on a cake. It's the future. What cookie would take the... I said it wrong. Macaron? Macaron. What cookie would take the macaron's place?
I don't know. Whatever they make popular again, I guess. Because they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
And they kind of just...
They're a French thing, right?
Yes, they're a French thing.
I did know that. Somehow. I don't know why, but I knew that was a French thing. Cool. Do you see yourself, would you ever want to like open your own bakery or pastry shop or like cooking class thing?
I think
Or would you do it somewhere else?
definitely eventually I would like to own my own place.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's definitely an end goal for me. I'd want a cake shop that did high-end wedding cakes and like cakes that you could come in and buy for like birthdays, last minute, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's cool. Have you, the whole lesson thing is so huge now. Like whether it be like making your own wine or that kind of thing. Have you ever thought about like doing a make your own cake thing?
I mean, that would definitely, you could definitely do that.
Yeah?
There's definitely a market for that.
Do you think people would be into it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I've had several people ask me if, like, I do classes like that, but just not yet.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, because that's similar. I guess I would... Yeah, that's in the same vein.
Yeah.
Teaching. Okay. I guess I was thinking more of like... No, it is a class. Oh, interesting. The way different ideas spread across different industries and like that whole thing I think is crazy. It's like, I don't know, or what if there was like a build your own cake paint and sip thing, like cake and sip.
Oh, yeah. That would be fun.
Like, that'd be wild.
You'd have to figure out how to get the liquor license and all of that, which is a headache.
Probably a mess.
But
Probably a mess.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
Like a girls' night out. Like, oh, come decorate cupcakes
Yeah.
and have some wine.
Yeah. I got cooking lessons from my mom for Christmas.
Aw, that's so cute.
Oh, she has enough stuff. I didn't want to get her more stuff.
Right. Experiences
yeah.
are the way to go now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's what we try to do. Me and my husband will go like get concert tickets for each other for holidays or stuff like that.
Yeah. I got my girlfriend, Eliza Schlesinger,
Yes.
comedian.
Yep.
Oh, you like her?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we're seeing her in March 28th or 27th in New York City.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. She's very funny. She's very funny.
I haven't seen too much of her stuff, but the little bit that I have.
Yeah, I don't know, she's very animated. Her delivery is excellent. Yeah. I don't know. I think comedy is a great thing. I love stand-up comedy.
I feel like I haven't really gotten into it that much.
No?
No. I don't know why.
But you knew her. I'm
Yes.
surprised. I wouldn't have considered her one of the more well-known comedians.
No, I think she's just one of the... I've seen it randomly, whether it's online or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
So,
What kind of like concerts and stuff?
so the stuff we go to... Okay, so I really like hip-hop and rap.
Really?
Yes.
I never would have pegged you as a hip-hop and rap person. That is so cool.
Yeah. So I really like that stuff and like, I don't know. My husband loves like 21 Pilots and like Lights and stuff like that, which I really like too.
Yeah.
So we go to those concerts and we try to stay away from the stuff that I like.
Do you ever drag him?
Well, we horribly bought tickets for Nicki Minaj because I really wanted to go see her when she was going to be here, I think it was. We were going somewhere else to see her and then she canceled.
Can you just pull this up a little closer? Sorry. I think it fell on you.
Yeah, I feel like
you can move this arm too if you want. It'll move for you. Nicki Minaj fell through?
Yeah. So she like canceled her tour or something. We
Oh,
had
really?
tickets to see her. Yeah. So I like a whole bunch of music that's probably horrible.
What do you mean probably horrible? If you like it, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Don't let him tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. No, who do you like hip hop and rap wise? It's like old stuff, new stuff.
All new stuff. A lot of like more like techno stuff too.
Oh,
so
really?
like EDM stuff like that.
Oh,
so, like,
okay.
I think I like it because I run to it. So I want something with a really high tempo and something
makes a lot
that has
of
a good
sense.
beat. And I'm horrible with artist names for most of the stuff that I listen to. But I listen to like a lot of Nicki Minaj and like I'm trying to think Tyga and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know a ton of like rappers and stuff. The EDM thing with running makes sense though. That just gets you hyped the entire time.
Yes, you're
just
totally
drop
pumped
after
up.
drop after drop. Do you ever go to one of those like EDM concert things?
Back when I was probably like 23, 24,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really my scene. It's
I'm
a little
24
too
right
intense.
but it's not my scene either.
I'm little and I get stepped on, and that just is not enjoyable for me.
I'm little and I get stepped on. You're not an ant. Like come on.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm not huge on being around like
Crowds.
Yeah.
Especially when they're that rowdy, I bet.
Yeah.
I went to one thing when I was a freshman in college in Rochester. Actually, it not Sky Armory. That's in Syracuse, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's some kind of armory in Rochester, and I'm totally blanking on it.
I can't think of it.
It's a pretty big place.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I saw some EDM thing there with some people I just met, like my first week of school. I was like, screw it, I'll go.
Oh,
and like they were spraying foam soap everywhere, and it was like my skin was so dry and disgusting, and like it was not the most fun time.
That sounds awful.
It was not the most fun time. I will not be back. But the music's kind of cool though.
Yeah. Oh
like,
no, I love it. I think that is like, it's so fun and it's just upbeat.
Yeah.
I really don't like sad mellow music.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just not my thing.
Yeah. No, I hear you. You're more uppity.
Yep.
I get that. I used to live to it, but not really anymore. I kind of got over it. I don't know. I used to grow in and out of things.
Yeah.
I used to love country music. Now I can't listen to it at all.
That's one thing I will never like. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's all very, the same. To the point where, not to shit on hip hop, but like country singers are like jumping ship to hip hop, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Like Taylor Swift.
I like Taylor Swift. I like her now.
I liked her before.
You liked her when she was country.
Well, yeah, when I liked country. Now I'm like, not really fond of either one. But it's actually really funny. One time, I don't use Twitter much, but I actually looked at Taylor Swift's Twitter bio, and it was, do you know what it is?
No.
It says or at least it did, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now.
It's one of the song lyrics that she has.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's a lot.
It's kind of like when she diverted into that other genre of music.
Okay, maybe that's not as
it's not as witty as you thought it was.
No, I guess not. Or it's just more well known than I thought it was. I still think it's funny. I mean, she's obviously good at what she does. It's not my bag.
She's doing something right.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Wow. Crazy world. You're running in July, you said?
Yep.
So when do you start training for that?
Oh, I'm training already.
You're training already?
But like the base levels of training. So basically just building up my mileage, running a couple of miles a day. So like you can't increase it like super quickly.
Okay.
So you have to start off with like a certain mileage, and then I think it's an increase of 10% each week.
Okay.
To get up to the mileage you want to be at. And then your long run should only be a certain percentage of your miles that you're doing for the week so that you don't get hurt.
Right.
Basically,
okay.
From overtraining and all of that.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I was signed up for a half marathon a year ago now, actually. Me and my girlfriend both signed up, and she got mono. Oh. And I went down to Alabama and couldn't breathe. I was literally on prednisone. It was not a good time. We didn't do the half marathon.
Which half marathon were you signed up for?
It was the not gopher. It was in Ithaca, not squirrel, not gopher. Do you know what I'm talking about? What's it called?
I don't know.
It's it's not a weasel. It's not a squirrel. It's not a gopher.
Some rodent.
It's it's something like that, and I'm totally blanking on it. But apparently it's super hilly and difficult, and
also not the best one for your first half marathon.
Apparently not. We were looking at dates, not courses, not terrains. So that was probably not a good decision. Maybe it's best it didn't work out. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't run more than like 3 miles or 30 minutes or 40 minutes at a time now. But I like that running is that mental challenge. Like, at least to me, it's like, can I persist? Can I keep going? It's like a good metaphor for life, you know? Like just keep one more step.
It's like a de-stressor for me.
Yeah.
So, like,
oh yeah.
I have a little bit of anxiety, so that kind
Yeah.
of helps bring me off of that and, like, work through things during the day. Like, I can
Yeah.
just run and kind of let it all go, and then I feel very relaxed and accomplished.
Yeah, I can
So-
relate to that. I think exercise in general is just
Yeah.
incredibly good for mental health.
It is. It definitely.
Like, I don't know all the science behind it, and I've heard people explain it and stuff, but I'm not gonna try. But
Yeah.
like, it releases endorphins and stuff in your brain that just makes you de-stress, less cortisol, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be done pretending I know what I'm talking about now.
And
But
I'm over here like, I'm not even gonna try. I run, I feel better.
does that person you watch on YouTube talk about that at all? Like,
Uh,
what is? Because you said she talks about like mental health and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so she talks about like a whole array of things like social interactions and like depression and anxiety
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think she's been through like a bunch of different really hard things in her life. She has a book and everything.
Oh, cool.
But she just talks about like different healthy habits and things like that.
Right.
So
Interesting. That entire world is wild. Like, the reason we're going down in March to see Eliza is actually because my girlfriend's doing. I feel like she should just be sitting here. I keep referencing her. She's doing a positive psychology course.
oh wow.
Are you familiar with it at all?
No.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's all about like, mindfulness and gratitude and mental health and the whole thing. And it's very cool. She kind of exposed me to that whole world, but we're going down there. She's doing this course, and I think it's so important in the time where we do have, the Apple Watches and all this technology
Yep.
that's quite evidently contributing to this mental health epidemic that we have, people like who you're talking about and these courses that like she's taking and all this stuff I know having the knowledge doesn't just fix it, but
Right.
to be aware of it is obviously the first step, and I think it's important that that's being talked about a lot more.
It definitely is. It's a lot more normalized, and people are trying to deal like maybe they didn't know it existed before, and then they're trying to deal with it in healthy ways now, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, because there's definitely not healthy ways to deal with it, right? Like, far too often, and it's funny too. Like, just thinking about like men specifically, and like the whole suck it up, just be a man kind of thing. Like, that's tough. Like, you can't swallow that forever, you know what I mean? Like, when you're
Right.
really dealing with something, like, it's okay to get help with something if you need help. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
it's wild. It is wild.
It's an interesting double standard.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's not the only one.
No.
No. But again, it's a tool. Social media, the internet, it's a tool. Got to use it properly, or else it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
I don't know. It's funny, and you're on social media. You see like some people that are just, I don't know, seem like they're trying to compensate for something, or just like, And actually, my girlfriend has explained to me the positive psychology like explanation of that phenomenon is like you're presenting self. So like this perception of who you are and who you want to portray yourself as, like who you want the world to see you as.
Right.
Like you hear Instagram is just a highlight reel. It's not the whole thing. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
you
I
should
mean, even I do that. I'm very like business and like here are the good parts of my life. Here's what makes me happy.
Mhm.
I try very hard not to kind of like put things out there, I guess things that are like vulnerabilities or
Yeah.
like I don't know, challenges or stuff I'm dealing with. I don't know. It's just, to me, that's very personal and it's
Yeah.
like mine. So I'd rather be like, oh, look, I'm running, or here's my dog,
Yeah.
or here's what I'm baking.
Yeah.
So I definitely have my own like curated persona,
Oh yeah.
but
Everyone does, and nor do I think it's appropriate to put all your like personal relationships, like family drama with mom, like
Yeah.
stuff on online.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's the thing. But it does create kind of an issue, but
no, but it definitely does, because
Yeah.
then people are like, well, there's nothing wrong in
Yeah.
her life, or I don't know, or I know some people will look at them and be like, well, their life's not perfect.
Yeah.
I know it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But that's not like what I'm trying to portray. I guess when I do it, I'm just like,
100%.
this is what I think people would be interested in.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 100%.
But I think everyone has a different motive for why they post what they post.
Yeah. In terms of like a personal Instagram thing, like it's funny. You say like, I know this person's life isn't perfect. It's almost, you can almost see like the harder they're trying to make it look like it's perfect,
Yeah.
the more likely it is that it's definitely not. But in terms of like your cakes and stuff though, next time you like elbow a cake right after you get done, you
like,
should look at this. I think people would love that.
They would, yeah.
Especially, you know, after maybe the nerves have settled a little bit and you can laugh about it too. I bet people would love that.
Yeah, it'd make things more real, I
Yeah,
suppose.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how often that stuff happens. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just think it's
lately,
funny.
But now that I said that, it's gonna happen.
I just think it's funny because, you know, hiccups, they happen.
Nothing's worse than though when I'm making like flowers and I'll like go to tap them or something and I like smash my hand into them and I'll like shatter the whole thing. It happened to me in my class. I was like knocking petal dust off of the flower and it smashed one of the petals off and I was like, oh, okay.
Whoops.
So
Too strong.
yeah. Or I'll just like move my hand and knock something. Ugh.
You gotta have a little grace, right?
Yeah. No.
Doing that, I'm sure. Man.
The grace does not come natural for me.
No?
I have to like focus very hard because I talk with my hands and
Mhm.
I'm constantly like not paying attention to what I'm doing, so I'll just move and I'll knock into things, so I have to be very deliberate about what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be. Otherwise, I can imagine. I mean, I don't know what the kitchen looks like, but
This kitchen is set up very nice.
Spaciously?
We have a lot of space. Yeah.
so you can flail around a little
Yeah.
bit.
My assistant's across the table from me, so I can throw things at her.
Oh, that's fun.
And I won't hit her.
That's fun. Next time you bump a cake, you should scoop some up and chuck it at her. Take a video of it. People would definitely love that.
All right. I'm going to tell Amberly this plan.
Yeah. Macarons are going to be Kaleigh's, and you're going to be throwing cake. And everyone's going to love you.
2020. Here we go.
That's a 2020 tagline right there. Just throwing cake. Cool. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. You should probably wrap this up, get you out of here.
Sounds good.
Good to go. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you
it.
for having me.
Yeah, of course. Just hit this